Welcome to the very first Adventureland Moms podcast and online chat, I guess, too. Yay! I am Becca, and I blog over at Love Our Crazy Life, formerly Love Our Disney. So if you have no clue who Love Our Crazy Life is, you probably know Love Our Disney. Maybe, probably not, actually, but I don't want to sound like, oh, you must know me. But and this is my friend Michaelyn from the Mousetool Mom.
Hi.
Used to be just Mousetool's, right? Or Mousetool? Yeah,
Mousetool's.
Okay, so we both rebranded. She stayed a little more true to her Disney roots than I did. We decided to start a podcast just so we could talk Disney. That's Disney and travel. Well, sometimes we'll talk about other things and not Disney, but mostly Disney because that's what we talk about.
But we talk about all the time. We figured we'd just start talking to other people too, because we message each other about Disney all day. So
yeah,
we figured.
Exactly. So this is our first one. So it's just going to be the two of us, probably for the first 2 or 3, I would imagine. And then hopefully we're going to start picking on some of our other Disney friends that are also moms and making them come talk to us.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. So because this is our first one, we just wanted to introduce ourselves a little bit. And then I went to my blog's Facebook group and asked them for some questions that we'll answer. But let's start with you because I don't want to talk anymore.
Oh, me. Lucky me.
A little bit about yourself, your family, that kind of stuff, and your Disney obsession.
Yeah, well, I have that too. Okay, my family and myself. I'm married with 4 kids. I have 3 girls and 1 boy. He's the baby, so, as you imagine, he gets picked on a lot, or, with 3 older sisters, he's dressed up in princess dresses a lot. So, poor thing, really. We feel bad for him a lot. But, that's the family, and that's pretty much what I do. I stay at home, and I blog at, Mousetool's, and I talk about Disney, and I try to travel a lot. I don't get to travel quite as much because of, the billion kids, but I try, and when I get out, I like to write about it.
And we message each other all day long about Disney.
All day long about Disney. Any breaking Disney news, it's like, Becca, did you see what just happened? Yeah, so that's pretty much what we do all day.
Yep, everyone needs a Disney BFF that they can do that with.
And you're mine.
So I'm Becca. I already said I blog at Love Our Crazy Life. I have 3 kids, a 6-year-old who is a handful, and 1-year-old twins, which are not a handful compared to my 6-year-old. And my husband, Mike, and I stay at home with my kids and blog, and that's about it. Do you ever find that everybody tags you on every Disney post they see? I have a couple of friends that do that. It's like, oh, a Disney thing popped up in my feed. Tag her, tag Becca. And so, I'll have 5 people tag me on something.
Yep. I'll have it show up in my feed 5 times in a row. And they're like, oh, have you seen this yet? I was like, no, first time.
Yeah, I always just like it. I'm like, I don't want to hurt their feelings being like, yeah, I've seen this a million times. So I like it because I do like Disney stuff, and I'm glad they're thinking of me. And so
it's nice. It's nice, and it's it's the thought that counts. And of course, they associate us with Disney. That's just a given. So
yeah, that's what happens. So I have a Facebook group from my blog back when they started not letting people see pages as much. And so I took to that to ask people what they want to ask us.
Are they going to quiz us, or is it our opinions on things?
It's I just said if you had 2 Disney addicts, I said Disneyland addicts, because we should also mention that. We're both mostly Disneyland. You've been to Walt Disney World twice, technically.
Yeah, I've been a couple times, 3 times, technically.
Oh, okay, because I know you went with your family, and then I know you had your one-day trip.
Yes, and I went when I was 10, so.
Oh, okay. So 3 trips, 2 as an adult.
Yeah.
but we're mostly Disneyland people. So I said if you had 2 Disneyland addicts and slash bloggers, and you wanted to ask them questions to get to know them better, what would you ask them? So we are going to answer these questions.
Okay.
All right. And I don't know if you want me to say their names or not. I didn't ask them that.
First name?
Yeah, I'll do their first name. So, and a couple of these, I feel like I'm really good friends with because they're like my Disney pals I've met through blogging. Like they're my readers, and they've been there for a while. So the first is from Asha, and Asha asks, what's the best experience you've had in the park in Disneyland?
It was my son's first trip, so he was like a month old when we took him to Disneyland the first time, and it was Christmas time, and the crowds were insane. And for some reason, we waited all day until the very end of the day. It's like nighttime, right before the parade, to go take the picture in front of Small World that we always take as a family, right? When we go at Christmas time with all the lights and everything, it's so wonderful. We waited until the last minute. Go to get over there, and of course, they've closed the whole area down where we usually take our picture. And they're like, no, you can't go back there. And I'm like, verge of tears. I'm like, but we have to go. It's the first trip, and we need this picture. And of course, they still didn't let me get this picture at all. But the lady talked to one of the other employees, and they were like, oh, yeah, okay. They took us, and they walked us over to the storybook canal boats, and they got us our own boat. And we got our own boat and our own little private tour around. And then after we were done with the boat, they took us over so that we had Small World in the background of a picture. But it was like really, really far away. It wasn't quite the same, but they did their best. So it was really nice. It was a little Disney magic that, you know, they didn't have to do for us, but they did. And it was really sweet. So
that's really nice. It was probably my son's first trip. My oldest son. We took him at 10 months, and we surprised our niece with the trip as well. She had no clue we were going to Disneyland until we got there. My favorite was he was only 10 months old, but he kept trying to like climb into the characters' arms. And one of the CMs that cast members took my camera to take pictures when we were meeting Winnie the Pooh, and got all these pictures of my son just reaching out to climb into Winnie the Pooh's arms. And so we have all of that in pictures. So that's probably my favorite one. Second question. This comes from Sarah. She's my high school best friend, and she was in my wedding, and I was in her wedding. So
hi, Sarah.
It says, where's your favorite place to eat in the park, and why?
Oh.
This is a hard one for you, isn't it? I can tell.
It's a really hard one for me because there's a lot of reasons why this is hard for me, but I'm gonna go with the mint julep bar, which is maybe a non-conventional choice, but I like the mint julep bar because I get my Mickey beignets and I get my mint julep, and it's right there. I don't have to sit there. It's not, not a big like sit and order and wait for your food. And when you're with the kids, like you just need to be like, I need this and I need it now. So I get my beignets so I can throw them at the kids, and then I get my own set of beignets so I can scarf them down my face. And it's wonderful. And the best part is strollers, like double strollers, can fit right over there. I don't have to go inside a restaurant and try to get double stroller inside the door because we all know that doesn't work. So that's probably my favorite right now.
Well, my favorite is gone. They closed it down for Star Wars Land. That was one of my favorites anyways. We're not big foodies, so honestly, we liked that one because it was, you could feed the whole family for a good price. It was, the barbecue.
It was fun.
And it had fun entertainment and that kind of stuff. But I have to say now our favorite is probably to go to the Plaza Inn, and it has nothing to do with the food. It has to do with the fact that we like to go there and park there before the parade and watch the parade. We've watched, the Sensational Parade from there. We've watched the Paint the Night from there. We've watched the Christmas Parade from there, depending on time of year. And then we can always hang out long enough if we go and get dessert or something that we can stay there for the fireworks and we can find a good spot for it. So I'd have to say that one because we do like the food there a little bit better than over at the, Jolly Holiday. I always want to say Holly Jolly, so I always have to catch myself. The Jolly Holiday.
I do. I want to say Holly Jolly. Yep.
I don't know why I do that, but I do. So that is where we like to eat.
That is not a bad place. We've been eating dinner there the past couple of times we go with my parents. So yeah, a lot of fried chicken, and the holidays that had like a cool chocolate Yule log too. So.
Well, and it's great because you can feed 2 adults with 1 chicken platter, in my opinion. I mean, unless you really want to stuff yourself.
Which you could, good, but I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You're definitely walking enough to walk it off. But
yeah, exactly.
Our next question is from Emily. And it's the experience you most look forward to, like your favorite ride, your favorite land. What is the experience you most look forward to when you go to Disneyland?
Honestly, I most look forward to just walking down Main Street, USA. Like, I always tell Michael, and he always says, Michael's my husband, he always says that I'm crazy because he's not a huge Disney fan like I am, but I will retire on Main Street, USA. I will just be the lady who is a permanent fixture, at the hub, just sitting on a bench, with my Mickey bar, maybe a balloon and some hats, there in my old golden years, just enjoying Main Street. That's just, I love it. That's every time we walk down Main Street, I'm like, oh. So that's probably it for me.
Yeah, mine's Main Street too, but mine is actually like at the end of the night when all the crowds are walking out. Like there's such this rush of crowds, but if you go to City Hall or you go to the other side, you can always find a bench, and for some reason those sides just feel like so quiet and peaceful to me. I don't know. I mean, there's tons of people walking in the walkway, but just off a little bit, it's like there's hardly anybody on the edges of it because everyone's in such a rush to get out. And you always have the music playing, and I love when they play the Up music. That's like my favorite lately.
I think they added that. I love it.
Yes. So I don't know why. Probably because that movie makes me cry, but when they play the Up music, and I see that, especially if I see like the cast members selling the balloons walking around, and I just sit in there, and it's just got that distinct Disney smell, and you can just sit there, and it's just like, this is a great place, and we've had a great day, and I don't want it to end. So it's kind of weird. It's like the end of the day, but it's what I kind of look forward to the most. I don't know. So Kristen has actually a really good question, and I haven't even thought of this. I should have read these questions a little more before. She actually has a lot of questions. So thank you, Kristen, for giving us a bunch of questions, because I kind of like threw this question up there, I think, yesterday. So they didn't have a lot of time to make them. But her first question is, what's on your Disney bucket list, and what have you completed on your list?
Oh, man. My Disney bucket list. Oh, boy.
I think the first thing is we have to figure out, are we being realistic, or are we being like, if we really could, if money was no object? Because there's a big difference in those two bucket lists.
True. That is very true. Maybe we assume that someday we're going to win the lottery and that we will be rich and we can do all of these things.
That sounds like a plan. Let's plan that. So what is like your bucket list?
Oh God. I have a long bucket list. Like I can't just sit here and spell out my whole bucket list.
I think maybe we should just put experience every Disney experience you can.
Pretty much. All of it?
All the parks, all the adventures by Disney.
Yep, I want to do all. I want to do cruise to Disney, whatever, to another Disney something. That's what they should do. They should do a Disney cruise that goes around the world to each of the parks.
Oh yeah.
That's my suggestion, Disney. Take it. Go ahead. It's free. It's yours.
at least go from like Disneyland and cruise to Hawaii and go to the resort there. They should start that.
Yep, we could do that. I think they have one going out there or something. I don't know.
I know they have some cruises to going south that are starting from like San Diego or somewhere that they do once in a while. They like do like a handful a year.
It's like next year or something. It's coming back to San Diego.
Yeah.
They haven't been doing it for a while, which is sad. But I'm excited it's back. But at the same time, I try not to look at the Disney Cruise Line because it just makes me want to go on a cruise.
It makes me want to go on a cruise until I remember how bad I get motion sickness. I don't think I do well, and I don't want to ruin Disney for myself, so I'm kind of scared to go on a cruise.
Oh, thigh bands and whatever patches or things.
I figure I'll have to do like some other cruise line first to let it be the test cruise, and then if I hate cruises, then it's that cruise I hate, and it's not Disney cruises I hate. All right, so Kristen has another question for us, which is our favorite time of year to go. And I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say. I think you're going to say Christmas.
My favorite time of year. And anyone who watched my Disney Parks Moms Panel application video when I was pregnant would see that I cried while talking about Christmas. Hopefully you did not get to see that video.
Oh man, do you still have that video? Because maybe we should insert it.
It was awful, and I absolutely submitted it, and I obviously did not make the Disney Parks Moms Panel. Like, it was this blubbering person. I was like 8 months pregnant, talking about like how magical Disney was at Christmas and the lights and the snow, and I was like crying. But it's my favorite time of year at Disney. It's just so much more magical. It really is. Everything about it is just like, and it makes you just want to sit there and just stay with the snow. And I might cry now again. It might really happen. I'm not pregnant this time, I promise. But but it's definitely my favorite time of year there. It's Christmas. So.
Yeah. Mine, I've been at Christmas one time and I loved it. But we go every fall, almost every fall, I should say.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Because that's our anniversary and we honeymooned in Disneyland. So it's kind of like our anniversary trip. If I could go the perfect time though, I would go a few days before Halloween and stretch it like 2 or 3 weeks so I could be there for the full-on Christmas. Everything's done for Christmas already type deal. But you know, there's those pesky little things called jobs that our husbands have, and we have to in school. And so fortunately we can't be on vacation at Disneyland all the time. Your favorite place to watch the fireworks?
Okay. From the top of the Mickey and Friends parking structure.
Yeah. Especially if you don't have a park ticket.
Especially if you don't have a park ticket. We didn't say that. But yeah, pretty much we never make it to the fireworks at all anymore with the kids. They're always just so tired by the end, and my husband could care less. So we'll go and we'll sit in the car, and then, you know, we'll play some Disney tunes or something and just watch them from the safety of the vehicle. Because, also my middle two actually are pretty afraid of fireworks. So
yeah, yeah, and that's something you have to keep in mind. Did you at least stay one time for the Disneyland Forever fireworks when they did them? How they had the stuff on the buildings and everything.
I did. I got to stay there once for that, which was really cool. I like that. I hope they implement more of that. You know, in a later fireworks.
Yeah, and more. Yeah, so our favorite place, I kind of already mentioned, is we like to get a table and sit somewhere, like either at the Jolly Holiday or over at the Plaza Inn, because I'm not going to sit on a curb for 2 hours. I'm sorry, I'm not. They're not comfortable. My back cannot handle that. I might have a lot of cushion down there, but it still does not feel good to sit on cement for 2 hours. All right, so this one is from Jessica, and it's the one experience you must do every time you're at Disneyland. So let's go with the one attraction, because we kind of already talked about like the experience we're most looking forward to. So let's mix this up a little bit. Let's see the one attraction we have to do every time we go to Disneyland.
Okay, is this the one attraction I have to do or the one that my kids have to do? Because those are different.
You. Let's do you, because this is about you.
Me? No one ever asked me. Okay. Me?
I know I can't pick either.
Oh, like, why are you making me go first? It's so mean.
Okay, is there one that you do first every time? Let's do that. That might be a little easier.
Yeah, but it's not me. It's the kids' one. They want to do the carousel every time we go. Every time. They love King Arthur's carousel.
Yeah.
So that's theirs. I would say it's kind of a toss-up. I love Pirates of the Caribbean, but I also love the Tiki Room. And I know some people are like, oh my gosh, now that song is in my head and you're going to kill me. And I'm sorry, but I love it. So
I like the Tiki Room too. If for no other reason, you get out of the heat for a little bit. And there's a cast member. Oh my gosh, all of a sudden I'm blanking on his name.
Maynard.
Yes.
Maynard. I know who you're talking about.
Yes. And he is amazing if you go to the Tiki Room and you get him. So, but yeah, I have to say though, mine that, was it the attraction we have to do? Is that what it was? I can't remember my own question. Well, Jessica's question, but I reworded it. Okay, let's do every time. So for me, I think it would have to be Thunder Mountain because that's my favorite thrill ride. If I have to pick, like I say Thunder Mountain, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to miss Splash Mountain, and I don't want to miss all the mountains. I love all the mountains.
Yeah, we'll just say mountains. We have to do mountains every time.
Yeah. So, but we'll go with Thunder Mountain because that's probably my favorite one. All right. Okay. So we already kind of talked about our most memorable memories.
Yeah.
I know there was one this is it, and it's from Kristen again, but I really wanted to touch on this one. And it's, what is your all-time favorite classic retired ride? So what is the ride that you like the most that is gone? And I'm going to add this in, or going to be gone.
Gone or going to be gone. Okay. Honestly, I'm going to go with the Sky Buckets. I miss the Sky Buckets. I miss them like desperately. They were amazing. You might not know about them because maybe you didn't go. Yeah. They disappeared like years and years and years ago. But, the Sky Buckets, they went from Fantasyland and they went all the way through the Matterhorn and all the way to Tomorrowland. And you could just go back and forth, and it was so much fun. And then they closed them down. I get it, but it still just makes me so sad.
I remember doing those when I was a kid to get across the park. And now as an adult, as I walk across the park, I'm like, I can walk this faster than those things probably were. But my mom always took us on that to get across the park. But I'm like, why did she do that? Was it just so that we'd have fun on this ride? Although my little sister was terrified of heights, so I don't think it was fun for her. But
she probably wanted to save her 4 feet.
Probably. Yeah. Mine, I have to say, is Tower of Terror. And I know it's coming back in a different form, but I love the Tower of Terror theming, the Twilight Zone theming. And so I know it's not gone yet, but they've already pulled the sign down on us.
It looks so good without that sign.
It does. And it's kind of sad. Like, I don't know if their sponsorship has technically ended already or why Disney decided to pull it down before the ride was done. But I know a lot of people are disappointed because there are people like us where we were actually hoping to make one trip before it closed just to get a picture in front of it. Because the Goof finally hit 40 inches last year, which is why we went a couple times. And he did that ride, and now we didn't get a picture in front of it. We have a picture of the picture, and we have a little video because it is on our vlogs from that trip. But we don't have a picture of him standing in front of it. And I was kind of hoping to get that, but now the sign's gone, and that's good. I can't get my picture of myself in front of the Tower of Terror as the Tower of Terror. So, gosh darn you, Disney, you're ruining all my like photo ops.
Yeah, I gotta say, like you saying, like mountains are your favorite ride, and you're upset about the Tower of Terror. Me personally, I'm upset about that, and like I love the mountains. I love going on all of them. My kids hate them. Like we just got my 10-year-old to go on Space Mountain. Like just got her to go on this summer, and she loves it now, but it really might even be a stretch to get her back on anytime soon.
Okay, so you want to hear my Space Mountain story? I wasn't planning on telling a story tonight, but we went in June and we took Grayson on a lot of the 40-inch rides then, but he was still too scared to do Space Mountain and Tower of Terror. So when we went back in September, October of last year, we got him to do Tower of Terror first thing, and he will probably never want to do it again. I don't even know if he'll try it with the new theming or not, but he did it. He was brave. He didn't cry. He actually laughed during it. I think he was just a nervous laugh, but he laughed. So then we went over and we were going to do Space Mountain. And I was like, Asha, who did our first question, she was actually meeting me at the park because she lives in Southern California. Mm-hmm. And so she was going to wait. I was like, okay, I'm going to go on Space Mountain really quick with Grayson because we had fast passes. And I'm like, I'm just going to do this. We're going to parent swap them. I can go out there. And my sister was there with us to help with the twins, all this stuff. So we get to the front of the line and he freaks out and starts running out the exit. So I go and I get him and I bring him back and I calm him down. I'm like, it's going to be okay. Look, we sit side by side. I'm going to hold on to you the whole time. Look, I haven't, you've done all these other rides. And he's like, okay, I'm going to be on. So the gates open so that we can step onto the car and he freaks out and won't get in the car. So I'm like, fine, whatever, we're leaving. I'm a little annoyed, but I'm like, okay, I'm not going to force you to do the darn ride. So the cast member at the exit gives us a bunch of, like when the rides close down, how they give you the comeback slips. So she gave us a bunch of those so that we could, Dad can come back with him and then I can still come back with him, and that way we haven't wasted our fast passes and parent swaps and all that stuff. I was like, okay, thank you, and it was good for any other attraction. So we get out of there. I tell my husband, he chickened out, type thing. My husband goes, Grayson, how about you go on it with me? What did the kid do? Went right on it, didn't throw a fit, went on the ride with my husband. My husband, and he's like, I was worried Mama wouldn't hold me. I'm the one that held him on all the other rides. My husband refused to hold him on Splash Mountain. And yet he doesn't trust me on Space Mountain. I'm like, seriously, kid? So then, but that's not even the end of it. Because then the next day, we go back, and it was Mickey's Halloween party night. And so the park was dead. It was just me, my sister, and Grayson. And he goes, okay, Mama, I'm going to go on it again with you guys, and we're going to go do it. So we run over there. Space Mountain was unexpectedly closed for the entire day.
Of course it was.
And that was our last day in the parks.
Oh, no.
So that is my sad Space Mountain story from our last trip to Disneyland.
I got a good Tower of Terror one. So I made my kids, I think they were 9 and 6, the two oldest ones, go on Tower of Terror with me for the first time. I made them go on. My 6-year-old, 6-year-old, she was excited about it. She was kind of more like, okay, let's go, which made my oldest like, okay, well, I guess I better go. So we're getting there. We get on the ride. We go through the ride, and they're both like holding on to me, but my 6-year-old, who was initially excited to get on the ride, she's like grasping my arm, and like I could not get her to move at the end of the ride. We get off the ride, and we're standing in that hallway, and she's just standing there on the stairs, just like I couldn't get her to move. She was terrified. I was like, honey, are you okay? She just sitting there. I felt so bad. I was like, I think I've scarred her for life. So I don't think even with the retheming that she will ever step back on that ride. I just don't see it happening. I it does, but yeah, I don't know.
Favorite place to stay when visiting Disneyland? Well, Do you want to start with that one where you stay? You got the best place of all.
I have the free place called Moms. Yeah, I stay with my parents most of the time because I'm from Southern California, so I will stay with my parents when I go there. But where would my favorite place to stay be? In theory, if I had all the money, when I win the lottery, I will always live at the Disneyland Hotel.
Yes, you are a girl after my own heart because everyone's like, oh, I'm sure you stay at Grand California. No, Disneyland Hotel. It's so much Disney history in there. If I could stay anywhere, that'd be it. But as for where I really stay and where we really like to stay is we actually like to stay farther away from the parks, just because we're cheap. And we found that we can get hotels in like Buena Park by Knott's Berry Farm for about half the price of the ones right around Disneyland. And most of them have free parking, so it makes up for if you pay for parking at the park, because all the hotels around the park, you have to pay for parking. So, and we get free breakfast, and we usually get bigger rooms. Like, we like to stay at the Radisson a lot, and they're nice because they have like a living room and a bedroom in all of their rooms. So you get like a really good sized room. I think it's like 600 square feet, I think. And so it's pretty good size, and it's got like a little sink and fridge with a freezer compartment, which I like because I like to be able to put ice blocks in there and stuff. And so we like to stay there, but we have stayed closer, and there is a lot to be said about staying right across the street. That's kind of nice, especially when you want to take a midday break. But as far as us, it's more of a money versus convenience. And a lot of times the money side is more important to us because that means we get to come back sooner if we spend less money.
Stay an extra day. It's the trade-off. But also, I'm going to note, I did say to the Grand Californian, and I didn't actually mean that. I love the Grand Californian, but the Disneyland Hotel is just, it's the best.
Iconic. I mean, it's the original hotel down there, and it's just, plus it's got a monorail, 2 monorail slides, technically.
Yeah, it's got the monorail slides, but it has a tiki lounge, and it has fireworks in the flipping headboard.
Yes. Yes, wasn't it Ethan Allen is going to start selling Disney furniture, right? Something like that. I
heard that, but I don't know.
So I said when I first read the article, I'm like, if they make a Disneyland hotel headboard, they can have all my money.
All of the money.
All of it.
That's all I want.
So,
headboard.
Yeah. Go and check out Michaelyn's blog. And if you guys ever hear me say Michaelyn, I apologize. I'm going to say that right now because we didn't meet in person for like 2 years? Maybe it was like 2 or 3 years. It was a while before we met in person, and we only talked like through emails and Facebook and stuff like that. We never talked in person really, or like even over the phone. And so in my head, I just always called her Michaelyn. And then we go to this conference in Disneyland, and we spent the day together, and finally at the end of the day she comes up and she goes, I'm only going to tell you because I like you, but my name is not Michaelyn, it's Michaelyn. And I was glad she told me, but of course she let me go the entire day calling her the wrong name.
But you have to understand everybody calls me the wrong name, so it's not anything new. I don't usually correct them. You can call me hey you and I will answer to it. But because you're my friend and I plan on seeing you again, I figured I'd just go ahead and let you know.
Well, I'm glad you did. But it's still taken me a long time to finally start saying it right in my head. Because forever I still kept going Michaelyn, and then like Michaelyn. Michaelyn.
I should start like phonetically spelling my name, and it's like my profile name, you know.
You should put, just put a space in between the Michael and the Lynn. Put a second L in there so people can Michael Lynn.
Change my name so that it's easier to pronounce.
So how should we end it? See you real soon? Should that be our thing? Although if you're listening on a podcast, you're not going to see us. You're going to hear us.
Hear us real soon? I don't know.
Or should we just say have a magical day?
That's a good one.
Yeah. Maybe we'll ask anyone that happens to listen to us.
We'll ask her opinion.
Yeah, we'll ask. So if you want us to end it a certain way, why don't you just tell us? Not like anyone's going to watch this very first one, but if you happen to stumble across it somehow when you're lost on YouTube or iTunes, then let us know how you want us to end these.
Thanks for tuning in to the first episode of Adventureland Moms. Don't forget, if you liked this, to go ahead and hit subscribe down below, and we will see you real soon. Bye.